Good wonderful morning and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Boss, and in today's video, you kind of guessed it, I'm working on the tractor. Have several, 3 or 4 different things to do with it. Number one thing is I need to change out a clutch, and I'm going to do a clutch kit, which will entail throwout bearing, pilot bearing, pressure plate, and clutch disc. So in order to do that, I need to split the tractor actually in half. So it's going to be interesting. First move is I need to remove the hood. There are several linkages and then some steering components. So some other bits and bobs. Also, I need to modify my seat. The cockpit is way too small for me, so I'm gonna work on that. Also, some instrumentation. The only gauge that works is oil pressure gauge, so I'm gonna see if I can swing by maybe O'Reilly's next time I get to town and see if I can just pick up a cheap set. Does not need to be anything fancy. It's a work tractor, not a parade tractor, so I'm not too concerned with getting imitation, I don't know how to say it, OEM imitation or repops or anything like that. So I don't care. It's a work tractor. It works here. So I'm not worried about getting the exact look of how it came from the factory. What else? I really kind of think that's it. I removed the loader yesterday. Did not film any of that because, like I say in all my mechanical videos, I'm not a mechanic. I do okay with it, but use this video as a tutorial at your own risk. So one of the big concerns is that I don't have a cherry picker. What you basically do with these is prop up the rear end with some cribbing, and then you use a cherry picker up over where the hood is now, and just kind of keep it level and roll it forward. I don't have that, so I'm going to try using a floor jack, and I'll probably use a couple of ratchet straps and actually strap the front half of the tractor right to the floor jack itself to keep everything together. It doesn't have to roll a lot, about 18 inches, 2 feet, something like that. And I'll probably wait for help. I'll probably get both the boys to come out and give me a hand with it. And I'm not going to film the whole thing. I think what I'll do is break this up into little pieces as I film. That way we're not making another movie. Nobody wants to sit through an hour and a half or 2 hours or more of me disassembling this tractor. So what I think I'll do is film it and then, or start whatever it is, like removing the hood for instance, and then stop it, come back, explain how it went and what I had to do to get that part apart, and just kind of do it in little segments like that. I think it'd be easier for y'all to watch. I know it's a lot to sit and watch a hour and a half, 2 hour YouTube video. So enough yammering. We'll pick it up again when we're doing some action. Stay tuned. Oh, one last thing. There's a possibility that there are, how to say it, there could be 2 different clutches in this machine. So I literally have to take it apart to see which clutch. There's a 9-inch and a 10-inch. It's 50-50 the way I understand it. There's absolutely no way to tell until you take it apart. I'm kind of hoping for the 9-inch because it's 40, 50, 60 bucks cheaper than the 10. Okay, just a quick little update, and I will take you around after we do this next shot here. Everything on this side of the tractor for the hood is loose and removed. I have the front grille removed, and we're going to take out the last bolt for that front bumper. Thought I'd bring you along for that. I'll show you where all these bolts are. So this is a 9/16. You're going to use all American tools here. No metric system. So if I can get this wrench in here. I had this apart this summer when I had to pull out the gas tank for the there, I think I'm on. Gonna find out. There we go. And there it is. There's our nut. If you don't have one of these little magnetic trays, they sell them absolutely everywhere. Pick one up. Alright, something's got us on the other side here. And there we go. One Ford front bumper. Okay, may have all the hood loose on this. Let me take you around and show you. Got some grass from doing all that field work, brush cutting, mowing. All right. Make you a little smaller. Okay, so you got two bolts here. They're really big, number one. Let me show you. Number one Phillips. Got 4 of those, 2 on each side. Got a little bolt hole there and a bolt hole there. The fender bolt you just saw me, or bumper bolt you just saw me remove. 4 on the grill. One in each corner. Okay. One here, one here. One here, one here. We're on the key side now. Also, and I didn't put them back in because I knew I was going to have to do this job this fall or winter. There's a little bolt there and a little bolt there. Mine were rusted, so I ended up cutting them off. And they connect like that. But I think I'm ready to lift the hood off. Let's find out. I don't think I'm forgetting any bolts. And it's kind of a heavy bugger. Try to keep you guys out of the sun. There we go. But that's where all the nuts and bolts are. I needed a 9/16 socket, a 1/2 inch socket, a 9/16 inch combination wrench, and a 1/2 inch combination wrench, and a number one Phillips. So far, all the tools I've used. Oh, and a set of pliers because I pulled out the battery. In the beginning, I was doing a little rundown sheet on what I needed to do. I'm gonna do something with this battery box too. I also just went and grabbed my little set of tools I carry around the truck. That way I'm not running back and forth to the doggone toolbox nonstop, and 25% of them tools are missing anyway. Yep. Oh, chicken scared the crap out of me, kind of. I think that has to be open, otherwise it'll catch on the dash. Oh, and I'm forgetting a couple of bolts. Yes, I am. On each side, right here. I think they're a 9/16. I'm gonna push that under there so it's out of my way for working. Might be a 5/8. Tis. Almost went to the big toolbox, but I got it right here. And it's spinning on this side. Ooh. Ow. I just bit my finger. It's a big square bolt. And I'll bet it's going to bleed. Grab these pliers. I thought, well, maybe it's not very tight. It's tight. These pliers suck. I almost grabbed out my Snap-on box with all the Snap-on and Mac tools. There we go. And that's what it did to my finger, thumb. And I think I moved the... Yeah, it's bleeding. If you're gonna do a project, it's gonna draw blood. I'm not gonna bring it around for this side. Go. I did replace a lot of these bolts, but I did reuse some this summer when I had this all apart. I need a Band-Aid. All right, like I said, it's kind of heavy. It's not really a two-guy job, but it'll surprise you the first time you lift it off. Make sure you go. Make sure you unhook your key switch, otherwise it's going to give you problems. This summer I replaced this little switch, and I got to tighten the bolt up on it. It wiggles, but I put quick connects, and I made it so it'll only hook up one way. So there we go. Set him to the side. And that's like heavy gauge steel. It's really good. All right, so bring you back around on this side. You do have to take out your battery box. Bolt there, bolt there, bolt there, and I'm going to rebuild it. I could buy a repop. I'm just going to rebuild it. And I think I'm going to put an angle coming up like this so it can hold the battery, so even if it gets rusty and floppy, you know, it still can't fall out. You have to remove this hydraulic pump. You have to remove both of these, the steering, and I forget what that's called, some type of stabilizer bar on each side. I'm going to pause out, keep working on stuff, and I'll bring you back. Alright guys and gals, I moved over here to the other side of the tractor. Quick little update. I have removed the battery box, and there are 6, maybe a handful more nuts and bolts on it. It's heavy carrying around a battery, and I imagine the ones from 1957 were even heavier than the ones today. Also, let me grab it for you. Also, the starter solenoid was hooked up to it, and I just left it hooked up to it. And this is the key side or battery side. Couple little guys here, and then this goes down to the starter. And I think we're just going to build a new bottom for it, because other than the bottom, it's in solid condition. May bring you along for that journey. Have not decided fully yet. Got the starter bolts out. There are 3 of them. Can't remove it until I move the steering and this stabilizer bar thing that I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna bring you up here. I got the cotter key out of it, and we're gonna use the impact to take the knuckle off. The reason for that is that If you try to take those with a ratchet, you can get them sometimes. Other times you can't. That bolt that goes in here goes to a ball, and that ball will sit and spin and spin and spin. On new ones, you can hand tighten them up, but old ones like this are usually pretty worn out. Bring you up here. And I did just turn the steering wheel just a touch. There we go. Should be in frame. And yes, I'm still using chrome sockets on my half-inch drive impact here. Nobody yelled at me in the comments. Hey, that's a wrong size. What size is this guy? It is a 3/4. I'm using deep just because it's handy, not because it's a necessity. There we go. And the nuts caught. There it is. It is called a Castle nut. There he is. Beautiful. Now I do have a pickle fork, but I think if I pry it just a little bit and pop the knuckle, it may just come out. And where's my big pry bar? And through the magic of editing, now you could use a hard rubber mallet or a brass hammer. I don't have either one. Come on, fella. Another thing you can do is put the nut back on and give it a couple of taps, and I'm using a tiny hammer, not putting a ton of force. These are cheap. If I frig it up, I can order a new one. Parts for this tractor are pretty readily available. Pry. And we might need a bigger hammer or the pickle fork. See if I can put a little pry on it and a tap. Boy, she's not even thinking about it. You can buy replacement boots if need be. Should be able to find them down at the local parts store. That is a pickle fork. Should come yet. Got stuff that's going to fall off the tractor. Wow. She ain't even winking at me. Thought this was going to be an easy job. Should break? No. I also make these for air hammers. Alright, through the magic of editing, there's another fork. It's for an air hammer, but I don't know if that's going to help us or do anything. There she popped. Holy cow. All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to spin you around here. What you can do after you get this popped, throw that on the floor, because, you know, that's where you want it. No, not at all. Start your nut back on. And these will just fold out of the way and stay right with the back half of the tractor. Let's see if we can get the starter out. What is this gizmo on the back of it here? Should just have a gear. I do not know. It will eventually come out of there though. This guy's gonna unbolt from there, and he's next to need to come out the way. That's a better fit. You know what? This thing's been fighting me putting sockets on. I'm gonna give it just a little WD. I bought a can of breakaway for this. I'll make a part two, me putting it back together. Let me back you out here. As you can see, I did get a cherry picker. I went and borrowed neighbor Steve's. As you can also see, I have the tractor separated. Well, take a close up in here. I don't know how well y'all can see it, but these fingers for the clutch where the throw-up bearing rides are just smoked. Here's the throw-out bearing side, and as I was unbolting the pressure plate, I can see the clutch has fallen, and I'm pretty sure that this clutch is joined to this pressure plate. Not 100% sure. I'll let you know when we get our new one, but thought I would set you up here quick and just point you there as I take it apart. Should be, I don't know, some people might find it interesting. So there you go. As you can see, I got her chained up. The back half is locked up with some cribbing. I was impacting these off, but my impact socket set that I have here is so bad that they're so thick that the doggone socket wouldn't hardly fit into this space. Also, the bottom arm of that pump, I don't know if I need to take it off, but I ended up taking it off just due to where I had my chain set up. Also, I have a jack underneath the back half just for a little added security. Don't know if it's needed, but rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Well, there we go. There went that. You guys saw that. Well, here's the clutch, and it is pretty thin. But I do not need to have my my guy here surfaced. I can't think of it what it is. This is just a mess. Holy cow. Let her drip there for a minute. Yeah, clutch really isn't too bad, and I think it's a small one, which is a blessing because the 9-inch is a good bit cheaper than the 10. I guess this isn't a fix to this. I don't know why I thought that. Probably because I'm not a professional mechanic. I'm just wiping it off here a minute. There we go. Since it fell right in my bucket. Okay guys, I think our battery is running extremely thin. So we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to say goodbye and thank everybody for watching. I hope you found it interesting, maybe informative. I don't know. That is no grooves worn at. I'm going to take a Scotch-Brite wheel lock on my right angle grinder and I'm going to polish that up, and that's going to be beautiful. All right guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit all them buttons on your way out the door. All right guys, thanks. Bye. Well, you stayed to the end. I'm just teasing. A little bit of bonus footage here. All right, this is a complete assembly. Throwout bearing. When you step on the pedal, it pushes on these fingers, which disengages the clutch. That's how that works. Well, the reason why this went bad is this bearing. Hope the camera picked that up. There's nothing left of it. You can see on here that discoloration is actually heat. And you can tell it wasn't spinning. That's what cut these fingers in the pressure plate here. That's it, really. That's all we're going to talk about. Bye.